He cheated but says he loves me. Now what? The candles flickered, casting a warm glow across our meticulously set dining table. 7 years. 7 years of birthdays celebrated, anniversaries cherished, and a future we'd meticulously planned, brick by brick, just like Ben's architectural designs. Tonight it was his 34th. He was late. Again. I told myself not to worry. He'd been buried under deadlines lately, a huge project proposal consuming his every waking hour. Just a little longer, I murmured, topping up my wine glass, the clinking crystal a lonely sound in our otherwise silent apartment. The text arrived at 8:47 p.m. Stuck at the office. Big problem with the Henderson plans, be late. Sorry. My stomach dropped. It wasn't just the lateness, it was the way he wrote. Short, clipped, devoid of the usual affection. I blew out the candles, the smoke curling upwards like dissipating hope. I plated his dinner and put it in the oven on warm, knowing it would likely be dried out by the time he arrived. I scrolled through social media, trying to distract myself, but every happy couple, every loving post felt like a personal jab. I landed on Chloe's page. A picture of her and her girlfriend laughing, carefree. I envied their uncomplicated joy. Hey, everything okay? Chloe texted back instantly. She knew me too well. Ben's late. Again, I typed, adding a weary face emoji. That sucks. He's been pulling this a lot recently, hasn't he? Yeah, he says it's work. I want to believe him. Maybe he just needs a break. You guys should take a weekend trip. Remember that cabin upstate you were talking about? Maybe, I replied, but the thought felt hollow, like putting a band-aid on a gaping wound. He finally walked in at 11:12 p.m., smelling faintly of cologne and something else, something floral and unfamiliar. Hey, he said, dropping his briefcase with a thud. He didn't meet my eye. Happy birthday, I said softly, my voice barely a whisper. He managed a weak smile. Thanks, babe, long day. I watched him eat the dried-out meal I'd prepared with so much love. He barely tasted it. The next morning, I woke up early. He was already gone. I knew I couldn't keep living like this, consumed by anxiety and doubt. I decided to surprise him at his office. Maybe seeing him in his element would ease my worries. His firm, Davis Sterling Architects, was a sleek, modern building downtown. I'd been there countless times. The receptionist, Sarah, not the Sarah I would later learn to despise, greeted me with a warm smile. He's in a meeting, Amelia, she said. Wanna wait in his office? Sure, I said, trying to sound casual. His office was exactly as I'd pictured it, organized, minimalist, a reflection of his controlled exterior. I sat in his leather chair, the scent of his familiar cologne filling my nostrils. I felt a flicker of comfort, a reminder of the countless hours we'd spent talking about his dreams, his ambitions. That's when I saw it. A small metallic flash under a stack of blueprints. A phone, not his. A cheap burner phone. My heart pounded in my chest. I knew instinctively that I shouldn't, but I did. I picked it up. No password. The texts were right there, displayed on the screen. See you later tonight? Sarah. Can't wait, Ben. My world tilted, the room blurred. I dropped the phone, the clatter echoing in the silent office. I didn't wait for him. I ran. I barely remember getting home. I was numb, disoriented. I sat on the couch, staring blankly at the wall, the reality of his betrayal sinking in like a lead weight. He called. I ignored it. He texted. I ignored it. Finally, he arrived at the apartment, his face etched with worry. Amelia, what's wrong? I couldn't speak. I just pointed to the burner phone lying accusingly on the coffee table. He paled. He tried to deny it at first, stammering, making excuses. But I saw the truth in his eyes, the guilt, the shame. He broke down. Sobbing, pleading, it was a mistake, he choked out. I swear, it didn't mean anything. I love you, Amelia, I only love you. Sarah, the intern, young, ambitious, probably impressed by his success. He'd thrown away 7 years for that. I stared at him, my heart aching, my mind reeling. How could you? I managed to whisper, my voice trembling. He buried his face in his hands. I don't know, he cried. I was stupid. I was lonely. It just happened. Lonely, I repeated, incredulous. You were lonely with me. He looked up, his eyes bloodshot. It wasn't about you, he said. It was about me. I was feeling insecure, like I wasn't good enough. I didn't understand. He was successful, admired, loved. What wasn't good enough? Please, he begged. Give me another chance. I'll do anything. I'll go to therapy. I'll quit my job. Just please don't leave me. I looked at him, the man I'd loved, the man I'd built a life with. He was a stranger. I couldn't breathe. I packed a bag and left. Chloe took me in. Her apartment was small but cozy, filled with the comforting scent of lavender and her girlfriend's homemade cookies. I spent the next few days in a daze, crying, sleeping, and replaying the events over and over in my head. Chloe was a rock, offering unwavering support, practical advice, and a healthy dose of tough love. You need to get tested, she said bluntly. And you need to talk to a lawyer. I nodded numbly. He's going to try to manipulate you, she continued. He's going to say whatever he thinks you want to hear. Don't fall for it. I knew she was right. Ben was good at manipulating. He was charming, persuasive, and knew exactly how to get what he wanted. He texted constantly, called incessantly. I ignored most of it. But sometimes, late at night when the silence was deafening, I'd read his messages, searching for some sign of genuine remorse. I can't live without you, he wrote. You're my everything, please. Just talk to me. I wanted to believe him. Part of me desperately wanted to go back to the way things were, to erase the past few weeks and pretend it never happened. But I couldn't. The trust was broken, shattered. I started therapy. Dr. Evans was kind and patient, guiding me through the tangled mess of my emotions. It's okay to feel angry, she said. It's okay to feel confused. It's okay to feel like you don't know what to do. She helped me understand that Ben's affair wasn't a reflection of my worth. It was a reflection of his own insecurities and his inability to communicate his needs. I started going back to work, throwing myself into my designs. Liam, a colleague who'd always been friendly, became a source of unexpected comfort. He listened without judgment, offered encouragement, and made me laugh. One evening, he asked me out for coffee. I hesitated, then agreed. It wasn't a date. Not really. Just two friends talking, but it felt nice. To be seen, to be heard, to be appreciated. Ben kept trying. Flowers, gifts, apologies. He even showed up at my office, begging me to take him back. I've ended it with Sarah, he said, his voice trembling. I swear it's over. I'll do anything to earn your forgiveness. I wanted to believe him. I really did. But the doubt lingered, a persistent ache in my heart. Then I got a call from an unknown number. I almost didn't answer. Hello, I said cautiously. Amelia, it's Sarah. My blood ran cold. I thought you should know, she said, her voice shaky. He's still seeing me. I hung up. I confronted him that night. He denied it, of course, but I knew he was lying. I could see it in his eyes. You promised, I said, my voice shaking with rage. You promised it was over. It was a mistake, he stammered. I needed to talk to her, to explain things, I repeated. Incredulous, you're still lying to me. He tried to touch me, to comfort me. I recoiled. Don't, I said, my voice cold. Just don't. I called David, Ben's best friend and business partner. I knew he knew. He hesitated, then confessed. He'd known about the affair for months. He'd tried to talk Ben out of it, but he hadn't wanted to betray his friend. I felt a wave of anger directed at both of them. They'd both betrayed me. I started making changes. I redecorated Chloe's spare room, turning it into my own sanctuary. I took a pottery class. I went hiking with Liam. Ben didn't give up. He sent me emails, long, rambling apologies filled with regret and promises of change. He even wrote me a letter, a handwritten letter on expensive paper, pouring out his heart. I read them all, but they didn't change anything. The trust was gone. I saw Mrs. Davis, our elderly neighbor, in the lobby one day. She squeezed my hand. He's a good man, Amelia, she said, her eyes twinkling. He's just lost his way. Sometimes people make mistakes. The important thing is to learn from them. I smiled weakly. Thank you, Mrs. Davis, but she added, her voice firm. Don't let him walk all over you. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to be loved. And you deserve someone who respects you. Her words resonated with me. I did deserve better. A few weeks later, I attended a work event. Ben was there with Sarah. They were standing by the bar, talking animatedly. He saw me and his face fell. Sarah gave me a smug smile. I walked over to them. Ben, I said, my voice calm and steady. We need to talk. He looked at Sarah, then back at me. Amelia, please, not here. Yes, here, I said. I'm done. Sarah smirked. I'm done with the lies. I'm done with the excuses. I'm done with trying to fix something that's broken beyond repair. I turned to Sarah. He's all yours, I said. Good luck. I walked away, my head held high. Later that night, Liam called. Want to grab some pizza? He asked. I smiled. Sure, I said. As I walked towards the door, I saw Ben standing across the street watching me. His face was a mask of despair. I hesitated for a moment, then kept walking. I didn't know what the future held. I didn't know if I'd ever be able to trust again. I didn't know if I'd ever find true love, but I knew one thing: I was free. I opened the door and walked out into the night, towards the pizza, towards Liam, towards an uncertain future. But a future that was, finally, mine.